Blizzard, why? I grew up with freaking Diablo games. Like, Diablo has been my childhood. I remember how long, like, for how many hours I used to play Diablo 2. A lot of people are really upset with Diablo Immortal, and today we are going to find out why that is.
This week, we're seeing the launch of Diablo Immortal, a built-for-mobile spin-off recreation of Diablo 3. It's an entirely different game, of that we're sure.
And it looks nice.
The unmistakable DNA of Blizzard's 2011 hack-and-slash ARPG is still there. We've got most of the same classes, with the same appearances, and many of the same abilities, running on an engine that makes the game look more or less exactly like that of its predecessor, but with a whole bunch of new stuff.
I was actually quite surprised at this when Diablo Immortal launched, how close it is graphics-wise to Diablo 3. Like, it looks so close to it graphics-wise. And the fact that you can play this on a freaking phone, that's insane, right? Now you have freaking Diablo 3 in a way on the phone. That's cool. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel and you love RPG and MMO games, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content.
World, new features, new mechanics, and new systems. Repackaged, reimagined, and with way more microtransactions than
Holy
ever
shit,
before.
even for
Although,
$99.
let's not forget, they tried. Diablo 3 launched with a real money auction house that let players buy and sell in-game items for gold or real cash.
They got
this
some
feature was met with
negative
such
feedback.
backlash from the community that they removed it completely from the game shortly after launch. While Diablo Immortal doesn't have a real money auction house in form, it sure does in function, with multiple currencies that let you directly pay real money for power. I would say the game
I think that is, in my opinion, pay to win. Like, anything that increases, let's say, your drop chance, for example, for good items or something like that. That's, in my opinion, my definition, pay to win. Because it can increase the power of your character by a significant amount in a significant short amount of time. Like, yeah, you could say boosting in World of Warcraft is also pay to win because you immediately get to max level and stuff. And to be honest, it's not, because you're just getting near to max level and you still need... I feel like actually in World of Warcraft, the only exception is WoW Classic. Gearing is more important than leveling. And it takes way longer. Because to level up to a high level is way faster than to get good gear in this game. So yeah, but here this is clearly a pay-to-win direction.
Game falls under the textbook definition of pay to win. You can spend money to make your character stronger, giving you an advantage over those who don't. An advantage in PvP, you'll have way more health and deal more damage, and in PvE, your better stats will let you push harder content. It's looking like months or even years ahead of free-to-play players.
The gap shouldn't be that huge.
Not good, but also it's kind of par for the course on the platform, because once again, Diablo Immortal is first and foremost a mobile game. It's just now coming to PC, as we learned a few weeks ago, but it's not a PC game and doesn't fall under the same parameters of...
Guys, I have a question for those of you that play Diablo Immortal. How the heck are you playing this? Or, I mean, those that play it on the phone. How the heck are you playing this on the phone? If let's say there was like a game I had on my phone, right? I'm clicking, I want to attack the mob, I want to freaking dodge a mechanic. Like, it is so small, how can you even press anything on like a small phone? Like, what the heck? Like, for me, I need a freaking keyboard or controller to play a game properly and have max performance and be like a pro player. Because I like, my thumb is like 5 or 10% of the screen already. How do I hit this freaking small mob in the corner and stuff? Like... Especially shooting games. Like, I don't get how people can play shooting games on a freaking phone. Like, your aim must be pretty off, I think. Like, how can you aim even? That's crazy, right? But anyway, let's continue.
Of expectations for the platform, for ARPGs in general, or for a Diablo game. It is Diablo in name, it is Diablo in appearance, but it is a money generator for phones in every other respect. And the advantage that Blizzard has this time around, compared to Diablo 3's real money auction house, is that they're probably not going to be met with the same level of backlash, because this is a phone game. And I want to say this clearly up front here. If we're strictly talking about the gameplay, the features, the things to do. Diablo Immortal looks and plays great for a phone game. I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
Like
this
I said,
is
Diablo
most
3
certainly
for
going
the
to
phone.
be one of the better, if not the best, ARPGs on the mobile market. All hands-on early impressions indicate this, and I've played it myself, and I thought it was pretty good, even as someone who never plays phone games. And if this
And there's one big disadvantage about mobile games, and I feel like not enough people and creators are pointing this out. Like, phone games have so many restrictions when it comes to developments and expansions and stuff like that. Like, let's say there's like one mobile game that gets crazy successful, and you want to release DLCs, you want to add new game modes, this and that. Like, it becomes tough because, especially if it's like not just the mobile phone, but also the computer or let's say console, and it's like on literally everything. Then you have the issue that the PC players have like higher requirements from their games, right? And you just have like way more possibilities on the computer because you have like a very fast processor, you have like a very high graphics card and stuff, and you can make like those really amazing looking games with like a crazy huge world with like such a size that it is like insane, right? And you can't really do this on like a phone, right? Because not only the phone has like way less memory than a computer usually, right? But you also have like many restrictions because it's like a tiny device, right? So I feel like mobile games are way too restricted, and they can never come in quality and in size close to any PC or console game. I know they are like trying it and trying to squeeze all the files, everything as much together and make it as small as it can be, right? And they even sacrifice like some graphics, right? Make it like a little bit lower, right? But yeah, there's like a lot of restriction when it comes to mobile gaming. Like, I don't think a mobile game can have too many expansions as well, because it gets outdated fast also, right? So yeah.
This just stayed as a phone game, doing phone game things, fine, like whatever. I dislike games on mobile, how they're monetized and the type of methods they employ have rightfully so been called out as predatory, but that ship has sailed in a lot of ways. The mobile market is self-sustaining and growing, and it makes boatloads of money, and it's highly unlikely that it's ever going to go away. But because Diablo Immortal is now launching on PC as well, and fans of the franchise or of the ARPG genre are most likely going to hear about it and want to check it out, I felt like I had to make this video going over just how absurdly pay to win the game is in its current iteration. Things can change, of course. This is fluid. Maybe some exact details or numbers or percentages shift here or there, but the structure and the systems and how they're trying to get you to spend money that's currently in place, let's just say that Diablo Immortal isn't straying far from the well-established path of maximum monetization that mobile games employ. So there have already been a handful of really great videos put out over the past several months detailing a lot of this stuff, coming from people who have played the game and have firsthand experience with the monetization. I will link those below, and I definitely suggest checking out the originals, but also I'll recap some of the more important stuff right here, right now. So there's a lot of basic, pretty much expected microtransactions in the game. There are two different types of currencies that you can purchase with real money, and you'll use these and spend them on a variety of things, like cosmetics for your character or materials that are...
This is something I completely don't mind, freaking cosmetics. I think cosmetics are not so horrible in a store. Like, same you could say about mounts, unless they have like some insane special effects that no mount in-game has. Like, I think cosmetics, because cosmetics, they don't really affect gameplay, right? So let's say you are a very good player and you're dueling another decent player, and this decent player that you are dueling, he has spent like hundreds of dollars into cosmetics. You can still kick this person's ass, right? Because you're maybe the better player. Like, because it doesn't increase the power, just the look. They can have like a fancy costume, whatever. You just kill them in PvP and just call it a day, right? But if someone can get like power for money, I think that's just so wrong. But cosmetics, who cares? It just looks.
For your character or materials that are used in the game's
housing
There's
items.
also a seasonal battle pass system with a free as well as a paid track. Actually, 2 paid tracks. There's the Empowered Battle Pass, but for a little more money, you could get the Collector's Empowered Battle Pass. You can also buy services like the Boon of Plenty that gives you 30 days of bonus rewards like login rewards, inventory expansion, remote market access, and increased market trade slots. Also, and this one really gets me, after completing a dungeon run, they give you the option to spend $1 to gain plus 570% bonus extra value from your dungeon rewards. This is just ridiculous. And all of this is really...
Isn't that what Asmongold showed once? And some other Twitch streamers that I watched. They were like playing the game. Like they were trying out Diablo Immortal. And they actually bought this once, and once they didn't buy it. And I think this was like, I tuned in like a bit on one of Asmongold's streams. And what he did there was, he did like a dungeon, and then he actually spent money, and he got like a lot of legendary, those golden items from a chest, right? Like after defeating the boss. Then he did this again without money, and he got only like freaking blue items. I think this is broken. They need to do something about it. I don't think this can stay in the game, this with the rewards here. Because I think this microtransactions that you see here, I think this is the one that the players hate the most in Diablo Immortal. I think this is what actually got the rage up to a different level. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't like this here.
It's just ridiculous. And all of this is really just scratching the surface of how bad the pay to win is in this game, especially for people who will play long term. So early on, there was this argument that Diablo Immortal wasn't actually going to be pay to win due to the fact that the offensive and defensive rating that you get from gear in the game are both capped at 10%. And since the most anyone could get was that 10% increase to damage or defense through these stats, it was something that non-paying players could technically catch up to without too much grinding. Like it was a reasonable threshold to hit as a free player. However, the issue lies in the fact that your power comes from more than just your offense and your defense rating. For one, there is the legendary gems. These will be slotted into your gear and reportedly can give up to a 50% additional increase to your life and damage per piece. So with 6 gear slots, that means that these gems will grant 300% more life and damage to players who have them maxed out. This bonus applies to your character across all content types in PvP and in PvE. Sounds like a good system. Legendary gems, let's do it. I want that.
That is so broken. Then you are like almost forced to spend money to even keep up. Excuse me. No, this also has to get some heavy nerf or something if they want the game to live. Because people are just going to have... You know what the issue is here? It's going to have an imbalance between also like not just age gaps of like younger people playing the game versus like older ones that have like a bigger income and stuff, right? Because if you're just a graduate from college, you're usually very broke, right? You can spend like your $5-10 a month extra, or some maybe $50. But what about like those older players that are like whaling and stuff? So if you're like a younger player, you're just looking at those very OP like rich players, and there's like some social imbalance or something between like who has much money and who doesn't. No, I think this sucks. Like there shouldn't be such a heavy imbalance. Like there's something like, there was like one game I was playing and I actually loved playing it at the beginning, and this was Genshin Impact. And there was something that actually pushed me away from Genshin Impact, and that was like the wish system, like those kind of cards you can get for those crystals you can buy for real money. If you get the card in a wish of the same character again, then like let's say you have an OP wind skill with a cooldown of 20 seconds, then suddenly you can use this wind skill on this character 2 times, or you have like this one skill that gives you extra crit or extra damage, and you unlock this if you pull the character 3-4 times. Like I think in general anything that causes also a social imbalance will make people feel bad while playing, because people play video games to chill and relax, and there are some people that have like real life issues that can also be financial issues, and they just want to play a game to forget about their problems and relax and have a cool day, right? Now once if you're broke, you're frustrated, and you have some spare time and you want to play some video games to distract yourself, and then you get into a game and you see all those whales and you feel bad about yourself again or something. No, I think that's not good, like seriously.
Increase. So how do you get legendary gems? Well, You get them in Elder Rifts. This is a system similar to Greater Rifts in Diablo 3. It's procedural content that has you fighting through hordes of enemies and clearing a boss for loot. The base percent chance of getting a legendary gem running an Elder Rift normally is infinitesimally small. It is just not going to happen 99.99% of the time. You will not get a legendary gem to drop. However, using an item known as a crest, you can increase your chances. There are rare crests that can be acquired just by playing the game normally. Apparently, you'll get a few of these every day if you play on a fairly regular basis, and you will consume a rare crest at the start of an Elder Rift, and that will give you a 10% chance to get a legendary gem at the very end. However, if you're more interested in 100% guaranteed legendary gem drop, you can upgrade your Elder Rift using a legendary crest, and those can be purchased with eternal orbs, which, surprise, surprise, have to be bought with real money. On top of that, even if you get lucky as a free player and get a legendary gem drop using a rare crest or one of the very, very few legendary crests the game will occasionally give you, gems also have star ratings. The more stars, the stronger they are. And those free gems that you get from rare crests are capped at 2 stars. Getting a 5-star gem, which is the highest and strongest, really isn't going to happen as a free-to-play player. The chances are just way too small. Without spending money, you are not going to have access to the best gems on a reliable basis. But
okay, I'm not gonna play this game. I'm already... No, I'm just kidding. I will probably just try it for fun, like a little bit, but... OMG, that sucks. So if you're a free-to-play player, there are like items that are like basically maybe just 1% chance, maybe not even like unobtainable. So you can only obtain them for money, and they're the strongest items. This is 100% pay to win, guys. There is no arguing that.
Lucky for you, those eternal orbs used to purchase legendary crests to upgrade your rift and get a 100% gem chance drop are in unlimited supply in the game's cash shop. For about $100, you will get 45 legendary crests, so 45 guaranteed legendary gem drops. But even though you are certain to get a legendary gem, remember that there is still the star rating system that you'll be rolling the dice on, and you are hunting for those 5-star gems. That is the top, that is the strongest, the most stat-enhancing item. Lucky for you, again, the game has a pity system. If after 49 legendary crest-enhanced Elder Rift runs, you still have not gotten a 5-star gem, you are guaranteed on run number 50 to get one. But remember, that $100 that you spent could only give you 45 crest. What a shame. So it's going to be another $100 to get past that 50 crest threshold
for one
needed to guarantee the 5-star legendary gem. And as if these legendary gems, which drastically increase your damage and health and are gated by a low % drop chance or guaranteed by spending money, but still made into a grind due to the star system.
Blizzard, why? I grew up with freaking Diablo games. Like, Diablo has been my childhood. I remember how long, like, for how many hours I used to play Diablo 2, and like I was freaking loving the game. And I was like really into the Necromancer, and I was also playing a lot of Paladin. And what did they do? Why did they add this kind of system? Why?
As if that wasn't enough, the gems themselves can also be upgraded. You will be feeding legendary gems into each other to increase their ranking, but also to level them up. And once at max level, a legendary gem can be used to awaken a piece of gear. Doing this adds sockets, letting you place additional gems in your legendary gems. So the gems have gems, and the higher star rating your legendary gem has once leveled up and awakened in a piece of gear, the more sockets you have available. So the 5-star gems are going to have the most sockets, and in those sockets you will be placing additional legendary gems, which again,
stronger.
The more stars those have, the better your stats, which all wraps back around to the difficulty of obtaining 5-star gems in the first place. That's made a lot easier by spending loads of money. Now those videos that
they ruined something I was looking forward to, and that was like freaking leaderboards and stuff. Like, there were like those seasonal events and stuff going on in Diablo 3, right? And you could clear stuff and you could reach like a certain difficulty, right? And there was like some leaderboard, and you could see like online like, oh, where am I ranked? Am I the on 105, on 110? Like, where am I and stuff, right? Like, there was like a competitive level in Diablo 3, right? Like, who clears what and how high is the difficulty, this and that. Like, you can't really add this into freaking Diablo Immortal now because there's so much behind the paywall. Like, that is insane. Like, it takes away competitive gameplay because now what are the leaderboards, let's say, based off? Like, why do you want to push for, like, let's say, a super high rift or something, right? Like, why are you doing this now for? Because now it's all about who spent the most money, not who is the best player.
I mentioned earlier,
I think skill should matter more than money.
Granular detail
in a
on
game.
the specific advantages that these gems, the awakening system, and the resonance systems all give to people who swipe. But the gist of it is, you get a whole heck of a lot stronger. And the reason any of this really matters in the first place comes just down to the fact that as a free-to-play player, you will be significantly lagging behind anyone who spends money and not keeping up with those massive leaps in stats, those up to 300% bonuses and the extra bonuses from the awakening. This also plays into you getting bonuses and cooldown reduction and increased damage to various skills. You're just going to be behind, and not keeping up with that means you're going to be outgeared and crushed in competitive PvP. It means you're going to lag behind severely in PvE progression. In fact, there will be content that without spending money, you'll just likely never ever see. But it's not just some money that you'll have to spend, it's loads of money. The current estimates from everything that I've seen is that you might have to spend upwards of 6 figures to max out all of your gems, awaken all of your gear, and then max out all of those slots in the awakened gear. Around 6 figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's the issue that I have with Diablo Immortal and other free-to-play games that use systems like this. A little sidebar here, just because I thought it was worth mentioning, Diablo Immortal is already banned, will not be launching in the Netherlands and in Belgium. Now, this is due specifically to the loot box legislation.
You know what? I have to actually praise here Belgium and Netherlands because they are freaking smart. Like, it's good that they get rid. I heard like also gacha games are forbidden there, right? Like Genshin Impact and stuff. Like anything that freaking has like any sort of gambling in it should in general be forbidden or pay to win. Like if more, you know what? If actually more countries copied Belgium and Netherlands, like a lot of those gaming companies wouldn't even release or make games like that have this kind of systems. Like, they are doing really well with this choice. And if more countries step in, what will most likely not happen, we would not have those games anymore with those systems. They would nerf everything, like, trust me, guys. They would nerf everything to the ground. In Diablo Immortal would get rid of everything, increase your chances, until the games can be played in more countries. Because you're losing way more money as a company by selling something cheaper to many people than to sell something very expensive. I mean, by having those microtransactions, you're in a way like selling it because otherwise they can progress, right? To a smaller amount of people. I think like mass market is better than to have just a niche and people spend a lot of money. Because if you have like more heads spend little money, in total, it can be more than like a few heads spending a larger amount of money. Then again, it depends on how large the audience is in general, right?
Due specifically to the loot box legislation that those countries have and how it pertains to gambling. As far as I know, basically Blizzard would have to go through the process of admitting that their systems that they have in this are equivalent to gambling and going through the gambling regulations and registration or whatever of those countries, and they're just not going to bother doing it. It's not worth the hassle, so they're just not going to launch Diablo Immortal in those countries. And when asked about this, Blizzard said that they will not be launching in those countries, quote, due to the current operating conditions in these countries. Guys, you know it's because of the loot boxes and the random whatever. Anyways, to me the biggest shame in all of this is that Blizzard could have gone in another direction here. They didn't have to heavily monetize player
what does Microsoft
power,
think
giving
about
those who
it?
spend a ton of cash a major advantage over those who don't. Because by all accounts, again, they have a good game on their hands, and this could have been a fantastic opportunity for mobile gamers to be exposed to a good game that wasn't loaded with ways to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I think the worst part about how these games are monetized also is that they tend to prey on the most dedicated fans. The players who enjoy the game the most and who play the game the most will eventually run up against this wall where they're presented with the option of grinding endlessly for months and years, just swiping that card card. And since they play the game a lot, they're constantly going to be reminded of the advantages that swiping gives. They're going to see their friends get way more powerful. They're going to see the leaderboards and everyone at the top who has spent money, or they'll be getting crushed in PvP by players who have as well. You know, free-to-play games need to make money. That is not lost on me. I'm not saying this game should be free and have no incentive to play.
There should not be free-to-play games at all, in my opinion.
Or for goodwill. But I think there's a better balance that can be struck than like what we're seeing here. It's just absurd. The extent and the amount of this game that they have attached to.
I think in general, free-to-play games are, the majority of them actually, I would call them lie to play. Because people are getting the promise they can play it for free, but there are like certain paywalls and stuff. Like, I think we should go back to the good old days where a certain game comes out, it costs, let's say, $60, $50. You buy it in a shop or digital version online, and then you own the game and you just play it. And that's it. Like, it shouldn't be free to play. Like, even if it's a mobile game, hey, you know what, there's no pay to win or anything, but it costs you $50, $60. I think that is way better to have this kind of games than to have those for free, but you have to buy this and that in-game. Yeah, like, I love the old model, like, of gaming, like, where you just buy a game and that's it. And like a few games, like, let's say World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, they have a subscription you pay monthly. I think that is fine. But free-to-play, I've not made any good experiences so far with free-to-play games. Like Genshin Impact, now Diablo Immortal, even like Lost Ark has a bit of issues with that. Like, I haven't made any positive experience so far with F2P.
To spending real money, it's just way over the line in my opinion. And it's not done in service of making the game experience better either. That really bothers me too. None of this makes the game better. Quite the opposite actually. They make the game worse, setting up more resistance points and more roadblocks than they would have otherwise, specifically to get you to want to spend more money. And I just hate it.
Totally
With all this
agree.
in mind, I will just say, like most other free-to-play games like this, Diablo Immortal is almost certainly going to be best experienced just very casually. If you jump in and play for a bit here and there without taking it too seriously, without getting too heavily into the grind, it's most likely going to be a fun experience and probably won't cost you anything. And hey, I'm more than happy to pay some money for free-to-play games. If a developer makes something that I enjoy playing, I'm happy to spend $60 or $100.
If it's just cosmetics,
that's fair
please.
Value for the entertainment that I got in my eyes. And to me, that
Or
is
if
the
you can
best
buy
way to approach
houses
games
in-game.
like this. It's what I did with Lost Ark. So long as the PC gameplay experience holds up, maybe I will do it with Immortal as well. But if your intention is to play Diablo Immortal seriously, just be aware these games, and this one especially, is built to push
I'd rather
and
play
pressure
Diablo
you
3
into
at this
spending,
point
not
and
just
wait for
small,
4.
reasonable amounts like $60 or $100, but absurd amounts of money. They're designed to get you hooked so that you're invested just enough to spend $100 on those gems, and then after seeing that big boost you got, do it again and again and again. There's a whole nother element to all of this as well, and that's whether or not Diablo Immortal even translates well to PC. Is it fun to play on this platform? Is it an enjoyable PC ARPG? That has yet to be seen, but we will be finding out later this week. I'm gonna jump in, I will check it out, and I will report back to you. Either way though, if you intend to get invested in this game, well, now you know what you're up against when it comes to the monetization. It's a really strange thing, because I get, again, that free-to-play games have to make money. I just don't think this is it. I don't think this is how you should do it.
They should just heavily focus on
A bit
cosmetics.
excessive, that's all. All right, that does it for me today. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thumbs up from me, and I really, really hope that Blizzard learns from this and that Diablo 4 will not have any of this in-game, please. Like, I still have my hopes up for Diablo 4, and I hope here we won't have any crazy microtransactions, please. Because I grew up, like I said, with Diablo games. Diablo has always been very important to me. I've played Diablo 1, I've played Diablo 2, I have Diablo 3. There's not been a single Diablo that I missed. And I started at a young age. I was like a super young teenager when I started playing it. Like, it hurts me a little bit. Not gonna lie, it hurts me a little bit to see the Diablo franchise getting something like that. It's sad. Because if you really love a certain game, like a certain franchise about it, be it the Warcraft franchise, the Diablo one, like it will make you feel a certain way if you see something like that. So I'm a bit disappointed, and I feel like mobile gaming is ruining the industry in a way. Like, so many companies are getting more and more into a mobile gaming direction, and I'm not getting it still. Why play, like, okay, I understand if you're on a train and you have to go somewhere and it takes you 2 hours. Like, I get it, it's boring. Or if you're flying somewhere for vacation, right? Like, you're bored, then you can use your phone and play a game. But if you are at home in your freaking room, apartment, whatever, why do you bother playing on a phone when you can play on a computer or console? Like, that's something I don't get. Like, why are people playing on their mobile phone? Like, I don't know, maybe it's because like a lot of people don't have good computers, and computers are just so expensive these days, that, I don't know, maybe they can't afford a decent computer for gaming. Maybe that's it. Yeah, and phones are way cheaper. Like, I mean, if you think about it, what do you get for $400? You get a very decent phone, right? But do you get a decent computer to play games for $400? No, you won't. You need to spend more. So that is probably the issue. Like, as long as computers are super expensive to buy for gaming, the more and more we will see actually mobile gaming on the rise, because a lot of people are broke, and I get it. Like, we are going through hard times now. There's some economic crisis going on and stuff, so I get it. But I feel like mobile gaming is ruining everything, unfortunately. I hope the future will be better, but yeah, let's see. But yeah, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.